We are back. Welcome back to Womanhood Radiance. It is our 4th episode.
Can you believe that?
We need to do a round of applause for that. I am just really thankful to all of our subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting us. We are a new channel, but we are going to continue to grow. And I just want to thank you all for contributing to that growth. So thank you so much. If you like, please drop that comment, like, share, and subscribe.
Don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Yes, to be notified of our future content. We are going to get right into it.
We're going to be posting on Tuesdays.
Yes, we are moving to Tuesdays. Shout out to our viewers. Shout out to even our followers on Instagram. You know, shout out to everybody.
Everybody that's been reposting, sharing, and liking the comments and commenting.
Yes, and please, please, please leave a comment. Any questions you have, if you want to, want us to discuss a topic.
Yes.
Please let us know in the comment section.
And don't hesitate to just reach out to us. You can comment there on our Instagram, underneath our YouTube comments, or you can email us at womanhoodradiance@gmail.com.
What's going on in our current events? I think that's
worldwide. Everybody's For You page. If you didn't see it, we're going to be the ones to bring it to you.
We all know that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are no longer together.
Where did she go wrong?
In my opinion, some comments saying that, she was playing house. She was pretty much doing a lot for his family. And,
she was.
And we're going to talk about differences versus when a man is valuing you versus just throwing money at the situation.
Because you can be there and be present, but what does actually being present look like? Just buying you gifts is not enough.
No, that's materialistic stuff.
Right.
We tend to go for that. We tend to get sucked in that way. We tend to be like, oh God, this person done bought me a car. This person done gave me money. They gave me $10,000, or they bought me a Birkin bag or a Louis Vuitton or what have you. And a lot of us women tend to get stuck into that.
Right.
And just because a man is buying you things
lavish
per se,
gifts, let's just call it
right.
What it is.
Let's just say that doesn't mean he values you at all.
He's buying your time, and it's just a placeholder. Purchasing her big lavish gifts, like I know he bought her a Bentley and was just investing into her monetary wise and time wise. So I did see where you were saying like she was playing house because she made a big lavish Thanksgiving dinner for him and his family and his parents. But I think for me, I was siding with her because she doesn't have any parents anymore. Both of her parents are deceased. And just because of that, being that she's the only child, I think that she was liking the fact of having that family commitment.
Yeah.
But if he's not showing up, as you were just saying, and I'll let you get back to it, on that level of commitment, where did they go wrong?
If the level of commitment a man is giving you is down here, but you're up here, then you're already overgiving.
Right.
Period. Men value what they have to work for. And I'm not saying take advantage of a man and, drag him through the mud or anything like that. You know what I mean? But they value just how they're wired.
Men like to work for things.
If you're giving, and you up here and he's down here, then look at that gap. It's nothing for him to work towards.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you already giving it and he down here with you.
Right.
He's not up here with you. Let's just say, for the argument of this conversation, that they're just in a serious committed relationship, which is totally fine. That's pretty much where it starts. Women need to learn how to pace themselves a little bit better than how they pace themselves.
Ding. Let's put a
we
green
tend to
flag.
put the cart before the horse all the time. When we do get in a relationship, we start treating this person like they're our husbands.
I don't think that should be the first thing that we do. Number one, you need to evaluate the person, learn the person, because you could be dating them and y'all common goals aren't the same.
Yeah.
Where you want to be and where you want to go, it might not line up. So just because we're dating doesn't mean it's going to be forever.
We ruminate and romanticize a relationship and think that the relationship is more than what it is. And pace yourself. If If this man is showing up for you at the level where you all are just in a serious committed relationship, then you show up that way as well. You don't show up here and he's showing up down here.
That goes back to having standards and showing up for yourself in that relationship, how you want to be seen. Don't say one thing and then do another.
Do something else. Exactly.
Yeah, no.
You know, in the event that you're going to leave someone, don't do, you know, a lot of women tend to run their mouth and do a lot of talking, but then they don't go anywhere.
Threats.
You
empty
know,
threats.
Just like with Mary, unfortunately.
That's another topic, hot topic that's been out there.
You know what I mean?
On the tabloids everywhere.
I have great empathy for her. At the same time,
she chose that.
This is something that subconsciously that she was asking for eventually.
And I don't even think that she knew that she was asking for it, because from my understanding, her standpoint was, I'm Christian, I'm being loyal, I'm standing behind my marriage.
I'm married.
However, you have to love yourself more than you love your spouse.
I'm not going to use marriage as some sort of excuse to stay in a relationship that I'm not being loved or respected or treated correctly. Especially with like repeated cheating. We're talking serial cheating. We're talking about cheating for years. Clearly, that man was not into her. That man was not interested in her. He was no longer in love with her. Even back when they had the reality show, he was not in love with her. He had no respect for her.
It was shown that a family friend pointed out to her, hey, I'm seeing the disparaging like separation of you two right in front of my eyes. Like, how can't you see it? And I think that she was just living blindly in denial and just maybe wanting to keep it together because she's a public figure.
And I didn't want to give up on my marriage. But that was for all the wrong reasons.
It's for all the wrong reasons. You cannot be who you are and be whole in a relationship, marriage, or anything without you being okay and happy with yourself.
Yeah, your cup's gonna be full.
I don't think she was happy with herself to allow those things to continue to go on.
When you feel like I need another person to make me feel okay, that is a prime example.
That's a problem
of what that looks like. That whole situation is a prime example of literally giving someone else the power to make you feel okay. I would never give anyone that kind of power to make me feel okay.
I've been there before where, you know, I was in a relationship, in a marriage where somebody was cheating on me, and I took them back because they showed up and continuously pursued me over and over, said that they wanted their family. But when I started seeing, oh, you just repeating those same habits, you're done. You're fired.
Yeah.
You know, that's my favorite line. You're fired.
You're fired.
Don't just be susceptible to what anybody serves to you. Just because somebody is serving you a dish doesn't mean you have to eat it. And even Mary, they showed a clip of her saying this, talking to her sister. She was saying that I can't ever trust him again. So why
are you
did you continue to stay with him?
She just continuously ignored, and I think she was trying to force this man to love her. She was trying to force this man to be in love with her.
Maybe to be seen. Maybe you felt like she wasn't seen.
Well, of course she wasn't seen. A woman who is evolved, a woman who is elevated, a woman who is in their feminine energy, a woman who is whole, a woman whose cup is full, you're not even going to stick around for that long to continuously deal with betrayal and rejection. You're just not,
because she was experiencing that on a day-to-day basis. Can you imagine?
If you are not healed, if you have not done the work, which is very hard to do, might I add. Unfortunately, her behavior and the thoughts and the decisions that she has made for herself throughout that entire marriage, especially when it was repeated serial cheating over and over and disrespect, just goes to show how broken she has been emotionally within herself. There is something within her that needs to be healed. When a woman shows up in a man's life and they may say, oh, I'm gonna leave you, you know, you do this to me, you cheat on me one more time, I'm gonna leave you, and I'm not staying, and they do all of this talking, but you still staying.
No.
You saying one thing but doing something else.
You gotta stand behind your words.
And then that's when men don't no longer take you seriously. I don't do any talking. it's nothing to discuss. I'ma say it one time,
now,
and that's it.
If we first dating, I'm gonna express to you my boundaries and my non-negotiable. We'll let you know so we can play ball. But once you cross that barrier, I'm like, hey, you see the line? You crossed it.
Yeah.
Now you do it again. Where the hell?
That's it. That marriage should have been done a long time ago.
He had a mistress, and now they're divorced.
Well, not only that, at one point he was cheating with a family friend. Double and triple disrespect. They had 5 children together.
I still just don't get it, because I don't care how much money you have or the lack of. It's pack up and leave.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have access to millions, or I don't know their pockets, but the fact that you have access to this money and you could just move on.
But after the reality show, they had went on tour to discuss like the forgiveness.
They posed and they made it look real good.
You turned
wore togetherness t-shirts.
She turned her issue with infidelity with him, and I'm sure it was other issues as well. And and it's not all on him; it's her as well. It takes two. They turned that whole marital problem into a product and went on tour and made money off of brokenness.
I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah,
I did not think about it that way.
I'm just like 25 years of marriage.
God did not
send that man to her. There's no way God sent that. She chose him out of the flesh. If God is sending a man to you, that will not be happening.
God does not send chaos. He does not send anything that is unclean. We're going to speak directly to, if you are in a relationship and you are experiencing anything that is unclear or misconstrued or just straight confusion, that is a red flag, and that is not for you. Understand your worth, understand your vision, understand your purpose, and God made you so that you can be in perfect peace. Now, I'm not going to say marriage is easy, baby. I'm not going to say that. However, you will find the love that is for you, and what is for you will find you. But you cannot grasp onto any and everything that comes your way. Just because somebody is in your face saying that they love you and they want to be with you.
Even in my personal relationship with my partner, as I mentioned before in our last episode, we weren't really communicating effectively, right? But what I can say is that man showed up and still shows up. It did not matter. It doesn't matter, let me just say, but what I'm saying is
he fought for
that did not change his actions. He still showed up consistently showed up, consistently chose me, consistently is intentional, consistently.
It's very important to be intentional.
What can I be confused about? Even if there are relationship issues, and you're gonna have that. That's just what come along with the situation.
Because it's two people becoming one. That's the ultimate goal, and that's what God wants for us to become one body. So whenever those two people are merging, can you imagine you are your own person? You have your own things that are going on with you that are important, and what you see is valuable, and then you have somebody else who had a whole other lifestyle.
But it takes two people to be intentional and with each other.
You have to be committed to want to work it out and to want to show up daily to deposit that love, deposit things intentionally into the relationship so that you could grow.
Back to the Mary Murray situation. This man intentionally was not choosing her. When you talking about consistent serial cheating for years over and over, he was telling her then through his actions. Screw what he said out his mouth. We're not even about the.
Because a man can say anything.
Anybody, a partner. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. Anybody can say anything to you. It's all in their actions. If someone is consistently stepping out on you, they are not choosing you. He wanted an out. He was looking for an out. In some situations, men would prefer for the woman to end the relationship anyway, and they will purposely do things.
I think maybe that's what he was waiting for.
I think that's what he was waiting for. And she did not choose that. So he had to go ahead and close that door for it to be finally shut. I don't know why it's like that. And I've heard that from several different sources, that for some reason men would just prefer for a woman to end the relationship instead of them ending the relationship. I guess, like, you know, it's just more difficult for a man to end the relationship because I guess they don't want to hurt the woman's feelings, even though they hurting the woman's feelings by stepping out on them and doing bullshit anyway. You know what I mean? Just because it's not necessarily in the light, you still hurting that person, and it's going to come out anyway. After so many years and over so much time, her actions was saying, I'm not leaving you and I'm not going nowhere no matter what you do. Men value what they have to work for. If a man starts to lose fear in losing you,
because if you're not afraid to lose me, baby, then what do we do?
Ladies, I'm gonna give you a little something. You don't threaten a man and say, you know, to try to make him
be better or
have that fear of losing you. You don't. That's not how you go about doing that. The way you go about doing that is making his experience with you very pleasant,
unforgettable.
Making his experience with you something that he's never felt before. It should be soft. It should be easy. It should be feminine. It should be full of love. It should be fun. It should be with respect.
This is just about your aura and how you're showing up when you're around him.
Your energy. Your energy should be pleasant. Your energy should be loving. Your energy should be kind. Your energy should be patient. Your energy should be fun. And these are things that men will gravitate to. If something goes down and your boundary is crossed, and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm out of here. All of that you brought to the relationship, that fun, loving, kind, feminine energy is going to go with you, and they don't want to lose that.
Right.
If you going around yelling,
toxic,
screaming, destroying cars and being passive aggressive, or just being aggressive, or not knowing how to speak, not knowing how to carry yourself as a woman, not being in your feminine energy, that is not something that they are going to be afraid of losing. If anything, they're going to want you to hurry up and move on.
That's not something that they're going to miss, because the next ratchet is standing right there giving off the same energy. What about them is valuable? What about you is valuable? And everybody has their own traits that they bring. But yes, being a woman, you are delicate, you are poised, and you're understanding. And I'm not saying that you have to compromise your values, because I'm a stickler for having boundaries. So stay true to yourself and don't compromise for what you believe is to be true, but be open and be negotiable. Talk about whatever is bothering you. And as a woman, you always be able to be vulnerable. And that's the hardest thing that I'll say that I've had to learn to do. But whenever you're with a man and you can be vulnerable and be yourself, is something that they really value.
If you like the way this conversation is going, you all hit that like button, hype up the video. You know, we definitely appreciate all of your support. You want to show up. You want to be in the present. You don't need to mouth off. You don't need to do any of that. All of what you stand for, if you truly believe in yourself, it's gonna show up in how you carry yourself.
That kind of brings me back to Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Because we just watched a video. I was like, that was scary, because you saw that in live action, how she was just the loudest person in the room. You're at a black tie event. I don't care if you're lit. I don't care how many champagnes you've had. You should always be a lady. And don't get me wrong, I indulge in the bubbly. I love Prosecco, okay? And if we going out to a certain club, I might even take a shot. But you supposed to enhance and heighten a man's experience,
yes,
not be a nightmare.
And keep in mind that you are on this man's arm. You need to know your audience, read the room. Because clearly she didn't read the room.
A lot of people don't know how to read the room.
Clearly Megan did not read the room.
When I tell you that I was embarrassed for her in that scene, and don't get me wrong, I can be rowdy, I can be all of that, but that's when I'm with my girls or something. When I'm with my men, I want to highlight him.
Yes.
And it's not even that it's something that I'm trying to do, but I'm just embodying who I am. And I am totally relaxed and in my feminine energy.
And represent him in the best way. You know, I don't care where you all are going. I don't care if it's just to the grocery store. I don't care if it's around the corner somewhere. Especially when he's not looking. Especially when he's not around. You represent him 100%.
And I respect, and I expect to receive that back in return as well.
Absolutely.
It's not just one-sided. So I think that when you both are doing that, it's a balance.
Yeah.
And it's a healthy balance.
Yes.
A lot of times I don't see healthy balances in relationship these days.
Unfortunately,
it's like either the women are trying to outdo the men or the men are outdoing the women. This should be something that you're both doing and pouring into each other, watering each other.
You know what it is? It's if women is showing up in their masculine energy, then they're going to attract men in their feminine energy. Ooh. And that is like that is like such a that is just like not it.
That gives me the ick. Like
that is like not it
itchy
at all. And that's where the imbalance comes in. That's where the disrespect comes in. Someone is not feeling valued comes in. We need to really change that and step into who we are. We are women, so we need to be feminine. We need to learn what feminine energy is and understand and trust and believe. We'll do a whole episode on feminine energy, which I think we spoke on in our previous video. Again, check that out, guys, if you all have not
Go
seen
back
it.
And watch.
We did talk about soft life, but we could dig deeper into that. What do you think is a valuable man?
Number one, I love a valuable man that loves God, because if you love God, you have certain criteria that you're already following, and integrity, and I think a man that's accountable. I love a man that reads, understanding, and is patient. A man that's kind, somebody that you can count on.
Money is that's just like not enough, you know, and for some women it is, you know, unfortunately. A man who invests in me, like authentically and wholeheartedly invest in me, you know, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you know, a man who is patient, just pays attention to the details, a man who is consistent, a man who knows how to communicate, a man who is emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature, man that can step into his vulnerable side and don't necessarily have that fear of stepping into their vulnerable side. Because, you know, like for me, like, how are we going to have those conversations? How are we going to have the conversations that really matter? You know, the conversations that's going to really deepen the relationship. If you have surface level conversations like all the time, you really don't know, like from the surface level, you really don't know where you stand with that person. You don't know how that person really feel about you. Valuable to me is a man who pays attention to my life, a man who looks into it, who looks out for me, who cares for my well-being, who cares for my safety. And safety is so important in a relationship, emotionally.
That's
especially.
Very important to men as well.
Yes, emotional safety. A lot of us, we don't know how to make each other feel safe. But I think that feeling safe in a relationship is subjective. You know, a man knowing like what makes me feel safe and actually valuing that and respecting that. A man who respects my boundaries. Just a man who does like small gestures based on things that I like. It's just it's the little things. You know what I mean? I would prefer someone to do the little things as opposed to going out here buying me a Louis Vuitton bag or a Gucci. You know what I mean? Like that's something I just feel like I could do that for myself if that's the case. Bring me something that you can enhance, you can add to what I can already give myself. Because I don't do 50-50. I don't do 50-50 on myself. So I can't I'm not having no man bring me. I'm not having no man, you know, bring me 50-50, and I don't do 50-50 for myself. That's just
because we're depositing into ourselves 100%.
Exactly. We deposit and we do for ourselves 100%, and that's on the spiritual level, that's on the emotional level, even on a financial level.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like on a mental level.
Right.
You know, so for me, value is so much more and goes so much longer.
It's deeper
than a man that's just gonna, you know, throw a couple dollars here and there. You know, I would rather have someone invest their heart and their soul into me, and also intimacy. You know, intimacy.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm big on intelligence.
Yes. A man who is faithful, a man who is committed.
Yeah.
Marriage, we had all of the materialistic stuff. We had this big 5-bedroom house. You know, we had the money, we had the stability, we had, you know, we didn't have any bills and so forth and so on. You know, I done had all of that. Good as that, it was empty.
You feel lonely.
It was no fulfillment.
Yeah.
It was an empty marriage. I mean, I had the aesthetics and all of that.
Me too.
I've been there.
Yep.
So for me, that's not something that I necessarily value, because what good is it? You know, you got this, you in a 7-bedroom house or whatever the case, and you got a couple of cars outside. Your man up here laid up with somebody else. You haven't heard from him in 2 days.
Girl, bye.
You know, like which one would you have? Where is the value in that?
I had that my first marriage as well. And my first marriage, like, just to speak on it slightly, because I don't want to give him too much credit. But my first marriage, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had a great provider, and I will never take that from him. He was a wonderful provider as well as a wonderful father. But husband, he fell off. And in the beginning, we were great, but then when it wasn't, it wasn't. Because he bought me cars. He bought me everything. When everything was gone, I was happier to be on my own, because I didn't have to worry about, okay, well, who's going to show up at my door? Or where is he? Or is he with her? Or just the things, the unknowns.
And there's no value in that.
Yeah, there's no value.
That's nothing but pain, anxiety, and you sitting here with anticipation, waiting on the other shoe to drop. And there's no peace in that.
It's no
peace at all. And I value a man who can bring me joy and bring me peace.
That makes me be even more in my soft life and just being a feminine woman. When I know that I'm bringing you peace and you're bringing me peace, I can actually convey to you all the things that you need.
You're never supposed to be in confusion. You're never supposed to be in doubt. I'm not saying that you may not ever have questions, and it's not in these topics that you know that may come to surface that you and your partner need to talk about. Having doubt and uncertainty, like, consistently, having confusion and things like that, that is not the road that you should be down.
Confusion is of the devil, and I don't ever want to give him any glory, but God does not want that for you. If you, and I'm speaking directly to you viewers, if that is what you're actually going through in your relationship, you need to take that into account and realize that this is not right, and start taking notes. Start being accountable for yourself and your actions.
I still commend Megan, no matter what mistakes she may have made. You know, that's a road that she's going to have to travel and decide what her contribution to that breakup was, because it always takes two.
Yes.
It's never just one person. And what I mean by that is, you may not have necessarily been the one to commit the crime in the situation. However,
how did you show up to make him react that way?
And ask yourself, I should have left sooner?
Yes.
You know, did I ignore red flags?
Could have been.
Did I put up with too much? You could contribute to a broken situation in that manner. You can't play victim.
Right.
There were signs there before that led up to this.
Yeah.
That typically we ignore, we let slide, and, you know, we don't take action, or we don't show any sort of consequences.
I think consequences is big. If this is what you believe to be firm for you, you don't have to negotiate. You just have to present it, and let them understand, like, hey, this is my non-negotiable, and allow them to either follow suit or say, hey, I don't want to do that.
You know, but shout out to Megan, though, for leaving the situation. You know,
I pray and hope she heals.
Yes, absolutely. And take out that time to reflect. You know, Again, I was saying before, like, I don't personally think that she needs to get out and date right now. I think really she needs to just kind of, you know, heal from this situation, reflect, and take whatever valuable lessons
from it.
Right. Because, again, if you can go out and get involved again and understand, a person at her stature, it's very easy to get involved with somebody else.
That's what I was going to say.
It's very easy to get back into another relationship again. So when you're in that type of environment, you have to have the discipline, and that's another thing I value. I value a
disciplined
man. Lord,
yes,
I'm sorry. I had to go back and say that again, y'all.
Yes.
When you are in that type of environment where you know it's easily, when you're easily able to kind of just get back into the dating scene or start dealing with someone else, you need to have the discipline to kind of hold back from that if you want to avoid heartbreak again.
But I do exactly know what you mean. I think that I'm not saying that she should go back out and date tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying. Megan, if this comes to you, this is not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you're a beautiful girl and a beautiful woman, rather. And like you mentioned, she's in the public eye. So, of course, men are going to be going
all
after
the DMs.
her. And trying to pursue her.
Evaluating who you're actually dealing with. You know what I mean? I think that is huge. If you are, let's just say you do come across somebody and, they got a little change, they got a little money, or whatever the case may be, you can't necessarily allow that to determine the road you're going to go down with this person. Remember, people say, oh, well, yeah, he bought her a Bentley, and then he's a basketball player, for God's sakes. I mean,
that's
what he bought her is that's 2 pennies in the bucket for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's easy for him. It's not like, he don't have to go out here and get a second job and work, 40 an additional 40 hours a week to have made that happen.
Right.
So what was there any real effort put into that? No.
Who's to say he didn't buy that for somebody else?
When you're talking about somebody who made multi-million-dollars a year, and you talking about how much is a Bentley? What, $300,000 or something like that, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, right. Do the comparison. You could do the math. So, and I'm not saying that, this is a cheap gesture. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that could be easy to come by with somebody who is well off of that stature and things like that. You are, coming across somebody that got a little change in their pocket. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let me just say, it's nothing wrong with that. They could be doing that for multiple people.
According to his composition notebook, his diary, he was doing a lot of things for quite a few women.
I mean, what value is in that? And on his end? Maybe for her, it could have been a big, huge thing.
And that's what I was thinking. Maybe she never had that before, but that's where you got to know yourself. You have to have integrity. You have to love yourself, understand who you are, and see that that's not really of true value.
And then just consider who you're dealing with. You're dealing with someone, like I said, who has those type of resources and is able to, do a little something for you. You can't necessarily put your value there. You have to have a better discernment, because you need to look at what's going to really challenge this person to show up. A man giving his commitment to a woman is now that's something that they're not going to give away easily. He would have rather buy her a $300,000 Bentley than to give her a commitment. And I mean a true commitment. What Diddy did for Caresha. He bought her a couple of vehicles and buying her flowers and whatever else, but he wasn't gonna marry the girl. The situationship in that situation, to be honest with you, let's just call it what it is. There was no solid foundation in that. He was just gifting her. And there's no value in that. It's no longevity in that.
A lot of women, too, I think where they go wrong is they go for surface level because they're only looking at the face. They're only looking at the body, the muscles. And
how much money they got.
Yes, but that's not the true depths of a man.
No.
And looks fade.
And that's not the true depths of a true, real, authentic
relationship.
Genuine relationship. I would rather have less in terms of aesthetic and material things with a man who is giving me way more of a commitment and value of himself and peace.
My husband overshares like everything he's doing in his day. And he's just like, I don't ever have to ask him what he's
transparent.
Doing. He's very transparent. He will tell me before I even ask, this is what he has going on for the day. This is what he has going on for the week.
And you want that.
And that's something I never asked for, but I tell you, it's the best gift.
Yes.
It's the best gift.
You want that. It
gives me complete peace. I don't have to worry about anything that he's doing. And if I ever call him and say, hey, what you doing today, babe?
You don't have to question.
It's just, he'll rattle it off. When a man leads you correctly, you follow suit.
When I first started dating my man, he told me all I needed to do was show up and look pretty. That's it. Put me in my feminine energy immediately.
Real quick.
You running around here with a man who, yeah, you know, buying you gifts and everything, but then guess what? He disappearing and you chasing him for the next 3 days.
That
like what we doing that? Yeah. You calling him, trying to find him, and you investigating and all. Like who's doing that? You know what I mean?
That's not being in feminine energy.
That is all what we have for the day. Again, if you like the way we spoke on our content this evening, please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Smash that like button.
Please, to be notified of our future content. And again, if there's a topic you would like to discuss, if you have a question, please put it in the comments below. We look at all of our comments. And again, we thank all of our subscribers and our viewers so far who has come in to support us.
Yes,
and anyone who has not subscribed us yet, please do so to help us grow our channel. We deeply and truly appreciate it. And God bless.
Don't dim your light.
And what's meant for you will always feel right.
All right. God bless y'all.
Peace.